Jesus of Nazareth, good night, in the grace of my Father, Jesus of Nazareth. Good night and wet nights. It is the moment when you impregnate everything with love. Just as when you are in the kitchen as in life, food has salt and sugar, include love in your life. Love is not something reserved for certain events, for certain people or for certain situations. Love is the raw material of everything and you must involve it in everything. If people are being cold towards you, if your experiences are being dull, it is because you lack that passion to be able to create it. But passion is not anxiety, it is not that despair. Love is that beautiful energy where you can close your eyes and see yourself in that situation, imagine yourself in it and feel in the joy of your being that this is what you want, so that with your imagination you can say to the Father, "Come Lord, I will show you what I want, come I will explain it to you," and that do it from that loving perspective where you give the Father in heaven the last word, so that what you want is infinitely better in the hands of God than what you one day were able to create. Today we want you to feel that love in all things, to put a love label on everything. Love your people, listen to your people, take time to pay attention to those around you and accompany them when they need it most. Give yourself some time to love your material things, love your work. Believe me, if you put love into your work, it is much easier for your work to grow and emerge. It is much easier for your work to be prosperous and for you to have fun every day because you decided to put that love first. The same when you study, the same when you build a relationship, because sometimes you think that going and saying we love each other in a church and saying it the first 5 times of the honeymoon and suddenly the first 2 years was enough. Relationships must be nourished, and they must be nourished in a mutual presence of how we both want to live, of how we want this to be executed. Work meetings should not only be about productivity but about how each employee feels, what they can contribute, how their human talent is valuable, so that working is an important motivation. And equally within homes there should also be those dialogues to make it possible to understand what the other is saying, what the other wants, and to be able to learn to say things up front. All those groups, all those attitudes where they loudly say that the one who has the chubs is the last one to find out is something that would be avoided if they speak on time, if on time they say what is bothering them, if they go and say, "Boss, this is not, I liked it, husband, I didn't like it, brother, I didn't like this, friend, this has hurt me." And of course it requires courage to go and speak with respect the things that are important to you, and also be able to listen to those who are telling you something without them raising their guard, without breaking the house, and without starting a fight because of what the other person may feel. Listen to what the other person feels, understand what the other person feels, and in that process it will be easier to find a middle point, a fabulous meeting point in which both can feel comfortable in that process. And if the coexistence is with many more people, then everyone can feel calm about living there, and also impregnate with love all the bad things that may happen to them. When they can involve love in those situations, they stop magnifying themselves into believing that God abandoned me, or I did something bad, or in some way this experience is so unfortunate, it has been something that has no name and that does not have the love of God anywhere. But even in the most difficult experiences in life there is the love of God to achieve the experience that you decided to live. Now, make sure that your experiences don't have to be so hard. You are learning to treat yourself more lovingly, to treat others more lovingly, so you don't have to crash into the same thing over and over again, so you don't have to once suffered the same thing. And now we want to celebrate life with you and the opportunity that is given to feel that life is renewed. Renew yourselves, as you do when renewing your wardrobe. There are many things that are worth being able to renew: changing houses, changing wives, changing husbands. Sometimes it is necessary to renew to be able to really say this: will I keep it or not? I keep it, because many people stay because of the decree they put in place, because of the obligation they put in place, and not really because of the love they may have to enjoy those people and to enjoy those relationships that should be much more rewarding. How many times do you make your life bitter by fighting with your loved ones? To one day be saying or looking back, how I made my mom's life miserable, how I made my brother's life miserable, how I made my life bitter. Because I was always finding a reason to bother me, a reason to be bitter, and that is why, believe me brothers, that there are countless reasons to be upset, but there are also countless reasons to be satisfied, at peace, calm, and even happy with the situation that you can to be living in. As we tell you, that does not mean that you are going to stay there forever if you want a change, but from gratitude it is easier to achieve things than from anger. From that prayer visualized with a smile, it is easier to achieve things than crying with bitterness or with a feeling of injustice, because many times justice, dear brothers, falls short, and falls very short of what you can really deserve. Justice will give you the basic minimum, but when you turn to the love of God, the multiplication of what you have asked of Him is immeasurable. Today we pray for you brothers, we accompany you in these prayers of those loved ones for whom you are asking, for those who are wishing that they are well, and we surround you in light so that you too continue to find the path of love. Love yourselves in all days, do acts of love with yourselves. Small details, people may say you are crazy, but why not caress each other, hug each other and say, thank you heart, thank you knee. Thanks back. Thank you my body. Thank you beautiful mind, that you are continually trying to give me ideas so that I can be better, because at the end of the day both fear and the mind, like the emotions, are looking for a comfortable point for you, so stopping fighting with what you are makes it much easier. Plus the process of great things coming into your life and beginning to feel many more things materialized, many more events to fall in love with, to make new projects, and when you manage to fall in love with someone in your head, they don't exist, you can't even see their face. Well, that being is going to come into your life, and it will correspond exactly to that loving feeling that you gave it, because it is like a GPS that calls love. God bless you dear brothers in the grace of my Father. I am Jesus of Nazareth. Very good night.